This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I promise you a big one. We got a big fish, a big dog, big snake, I guess I should say, really. Coach Willie Simmons, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Happy Halloween to everyone.
For all those that are under rock, head coach of the Eastern Division champions, Coach Willie Simmons. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know you really tame on that. You got a lot more work and plans that you want to do and get done. So, but life is too short. We do have to celebrate the small things in the moments. And that's the only reason I wanted to bring it up. To your credit, you got it done really before November. As you said, appropriate to everybody. Happy Halloween. And I'm dressed up as a professor, just so you know.
You got the Halloween colors on, Coach.
No black, orange and green.
There you go.
In all seriousness, how did it feel? I mean, there were a lot of things that had to come together. Most importantly, you wanted to play well. And with that, you wanted to come out with a victory. You got the victory. In most ways, I think in most people's estimation, you say you played well, pretty well. I'm sure the things that you always want to correct as the ball coach there. Shotgun Willie Simmons, for those that don't know. You also obviously happen to be on homecoming. So a lot of people are there more than just usual when you have a really good crowd and brag, as y'all brag differently, as y'all like to say. And then on that, it worked out that Alabama State, the Hornets, beat Alabama A&M Bulldogs, which meant in terms of separation wins and losses, they can't catch you with 2 games left. So you win the Eastern Division. How did you feel after all that, and how did your players feel and coaches?
Yeah, it was a great week just all together. Homecoming at FAMU is always a festive week, a lot of activities, a lot of community, a lot of alumni engagement events and those type of things. So just to see everyone back and, enjoy what FAMU has meant to so many people is always a great feeling. And, the football game obviously had a lot of meaning. More than anything else, is a conference game. Even though it was a cross-divisional game, every game counts in our conference. So just wanted to make sure we continue to control our own destiny. That's something that we've talked about since we started this season. And, we were able to do that leading up to that game. And we challenged the guys to block out the distractions of homecoming and all the things that come along with it and play a complete football game. And I thought that we probably played our most complete game. And, it was great to get the big win. And about midway through the fourth quarter, I was alerted that Alabama A&M had lost. And so we knew going into the game that was a possibility. And, so once we got word, it was a great overall celebration. They posted it on the video board, and, Rattler Nation, 3,000 people were able to see that we were officially the East Divisional champs. And it was just a great feeling, a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice that went into it, and just happy for the guys. It wasn't about me in that moment, never is. It's about the players, it's about the coaches, the support staff, this alumni base, my administration, everyone who bleeds orange and green, because this has been a long time coming. And there are a lot of people that are poured into this program, and to see it all come together and us have the season we're having is a testament to all those sacrifices.
Before I pass the mic and let these gentlemen get in here and ask some questions as well, I got to ask this from the framework that I know you are a scholar in your own right. In terms of what you came out of undergraduate, academics were serious, degree in marketing. You understand that platform and what it means to put all that together. There's another conference over there in the MEAC, North Carolina Central. They've been kind of fighting 1 and 2. They did it. They finished things last year, reigning champions. And they really showed up last Thursday against South Carolina State. Coach Buddy Pugh talked about he had to be reincarnated and come back. 2 of the great programs that he was looking at, folks doing it right. He wished they had their cards. Was Coach Trey Oliver, North Carolina Central, Coach Willie Simmons at FAMU. And I know you can't get into playing this over, but is there a little part in your back that watches and see what they do and say, hey, not only do we want to play well, but we also need to kind of make a statement, top 25 FCS, 1 and 2. Can you at least get in that a little bit?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, and I think I echo the sentiments of Coach Oliver as well. We have the utmost respect for Buddy Pugh. You know, he's the godfather of us all in this profession at the HBCU level. Has done it at an extremely high level for a long time. And what he's been able to do there at South Carolina State is unprecedented, really. When you look at the NFL players he's put together, the championships, just the program that he's built. And so it's always great to get respect from those that you look up to. And I think Coach Pugh has a ton of respect for both Trey and I. So, but as far as just the the overall Black college landscape, of course, I watched the game on Thursday, and they Central played a great game. Probably their most complete game. And I know the nation was watching. It was an ESPN game, so they made a statement. And in the back of my mind, I kind of said we need to make a statement as well. And I thought with the big win on Saturday, so we're right there 1-2 in the Black college race. Depending on who you ask, who's 1, who's 2. But right now it's kind of setting up to possibly be in Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. And we both should have a lot of football left to play. So it's too premature to talk about those things now, but midway through the season, a little bit over the midway point, I think there's no question that we're the top 2 teams in all of HBCU football.
I told you, man, I was scholar. The football genius, 2 great coaches answer. Touched on it just a little bit. Yeah, you let us do that. You let us play all that up. You keep doing the work. We'll do the other side. Charles, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned there's still a lot of football left to play, but I'm just following behind with the scholar theme. I know you're well aware of the history and the history of FAMU, and how important is it with regards to coming over into the SWAC and this being football's first, divisional championship. The history of that in terms of the great history of Florida A&M football.
Yeah, when you work at a program or play for a program like FAMU, it's very, very difficult, almost impossible to achieve a first. You look back over the 100 or so years we've been doing this, championships, NFL players, national players of the year, you name it, it's all probably been done, at this institution. And so changing conferences, obviously winning our first divisional title in program history in the SWAC, it's a milestone. It's something that can never be taken away from us. We can always say we're the very first Eastern Divisional champ in the Southwestern Athletic Conference for this program, and so it's a huge accomplishment. Obviously, it's not all we want to accomplish this year. We want the narrative to be that we finished it, that we achieved all of our goals that we set out for ourselves this year. And so far, we've hit them all. And so, but we're not looking at all of those things right now. We're not looking at the big picture. Right now, we're looking at this weekend, trying to be 1-0 coming out of Huntsville on Saturday. We've had 2 great days of preparation, and we're looking to have a 3rd and a 4th. And so again, I try to make sure that our team understands that we cannot lose sight of what's important. It's the little things that matter. They'll take care of the big things, and that's for the fans, that's for media, that's for everyone else to kind of count things up as we go. Where we stand, the rankings, the accolades. We'll let other people count those up. We'll just keeping our head down and working hard every single day. And then at the end, like I said, we'll rest on December 17th, hopefully, and count up all our chips then, and then look back and enjoy the season that we've had. But right now, in the midst of it, it's too much at stake for us to start patting ourselves on the back and resting on our laurels about what we've accomplished so far.
Sure thing.
Yeah, we'll do all the padding. Brandon King, go ahead and follow up.
Good evening, Coach.
Hey, good evening.
Have you found?
He's a young bug. He's new to this, so we're still working on his camera feed. You little document. We'll get it right.
I gotta get my lighting together, but we gonna make it do what it do.
He ain't making no money yet. I gotta write some checks. He gonna get
I
little
don't
step above the intern, Coach. We call him adjunct professors the way we call him on the show. He's working on it, man.
So I'm over here in the copy room. The copy room. But I did want to ask, obviously comparing from last year to this year, obviously, kind of chasing those Tigers down in Jackson, and then as opposed to this year, where you came into the season kind of the team that everyone would be looking as the team to beat. So have you found it different being the hunted as opposed to being the hunter and getting everyone's best shot every week?
Well, in the aspect of giving everyone's best shot, we've kind of always felt that. And I constantly remind our football team that there are multiple reasons as to why that's the case. One, we were members of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for forever. And there's a just call a spade a spade. Those two conferences compete against each other. Which one's the best? I mean, you got the Celebration Bowl, you got MEAC SWAC Challenge. Their bragging rights, as to which conference is stronger. And so for years in the SWAC, they've heard, the MEAC thinks they're better than you. I was a part of the SWAC for a long time, so I understand how the feeling about the MEAC is. There's a mutual love and respect there, but there's also that kind of, back and forth banter about which conference is stronger. So you add two teams from that conference to the SWAC. Well, you got, 10 member schools over there saying, okay, we're not going to let these MEAC guys come in and run through the conference, because, again, that would push that narrative that, hey, MEAC stronger. They can take two teams and bring them in the SWAC and just run through it. And so for that reason, I think every team wants to really, really put it to us and those little guys down the road in Daytona. And so, that for that reason alone, we're going to get everyone's best shot. And then the second reason, which I remind our team of all the time as well, is that Route the Nation is going to write a ton of checks for us to cash. They're going to talk cash, what, on these chat boards, out publicly. We say we brag different. Oh, we do. And so I'm going to give a lot of bulletin board material to those teams that we're going to play over the weekend. So
right on along in the SWAC.
I'm telling you, that part we fit right in. We walk right into the Trash Talking Central, and we can talk trash with the best of them. But but for those reasons, it's always going to be bulletin board material, and it's not coming from the coaches. It's coming from fans. It's coming from alum. And that all adds to the pageantry. But whenever you have that type of rabid fan base, you're going to get a coaching staff, a team that really wants to stick it to that team. So, we know every week we're going to get everyone's best shot, no matter what the record is, no matter the venue. We feel like everyone's going to be gunning for us. And now that we're sitting on top of the mountain, even more reason, So we have to definitely be on our P's and Q's and prepare for that every week because, even teams that have had subpar records, they've come in against us and hit us in the mouth early. And we withstood it, thankfully, but Mississippi Valley, Texas Southern, we go into those games as heavy favorites. And before you know it, we're either down or playing in a dogfight. So, I think we started to mature past that. And definitely last weekend, we came out really, really strong. And hopefully we can keep that moving forward as the season goes. But, yeah, I think the FAMU is always going to be that team that gets everyone's best shot every weekend.
I saw him follow up also with the little boys down the street. I think the school down the street. I think I heard that slug too. Charles, you want to follow up?
Yeah, and I actually want to follow up from this standpoint. You're widely recognized offensive guru, but I want to talk about dark cloud defense. And to me, almost being sort of the backbone of this team during the course of this season. Tremendously impressed watching them throughout the course of the season. But what has been kind of the secret to the sauce of sort of where you are with regards to where you are with this program?
Yeah, well, obviously I cut my teeth in this profession as an offensive coach. Played quarterback, coached running backs, became an offensive coordinator pretty young, and I've been calling plays now for the last 15 or so years. But once I became a head coach, I really began to look holistically at our football team. It's not just let's go out and outscore everyone. Let's play complementary football. And I truly believe that championships are won on defense. And how do you have a strong defense? Well, it starts with interior defensive line play. So we really made a commitment here to go out and build not only depth, but, talent at the defensive line position. And when you look at our roster, we're 3.5 deep. We have 7 guys on that interior defensive line that can be in the game at any time. And there's no significant drop-off at either one. There's about 5 or 6 defensive ends that we can roll in and still have production. And so when you can be deep up front, it really allows Isaiah Major, Johnny Chaney, those linebackers to roam. We're always going to be fast and athletic in the back end. We're in the state of Florida, so, we look for speed, oversize, and just try to get athletic in the back end. But it really starts with just the attitude of our defense, all led by head coach of the defense, Ryan Smith. He took over in 2021. His philosophy was simple. You got fast guys, let them play fast. Don't handicap them. Don't try to do too much. Keep the scheme simple and allow the guys to do what they do best. When you have a guy like Isaiah Land who rushes the passer as well as anybody in the country, let him rush. And that's all you ask them to do. Let them rush, and we'll play the run on the way to the quarterback. You got cover corners, let them play man coverage. You got linebackers that can run. Don't ask them to be guys that sit in the box all day long. Let them go east and west, run sideline to sideline. So we really do a great job of playing to the strength of our defensive guys, but then also recruiting to how we want to play. We want to be a fast, aggressive defense. We're not a big pressure team. We don't just sit back there and blitz all game. We want to keep everything in front. But if you're going to do that and play quarters coverage, cover three, you better have a defensive front that can hold up against, tight ends, big personnel groupings. And fortunately for us, we've been able to accumulate that. So I think all of it starts with our philosophy, but the defensive line really sets the tone for us. And when those guys play well, it's really, really difficult to move the ball against this bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to your point, overall, 8 games, was it 15.3 scoring average, and then in the conference, you drop it to 12.3. Less than 2 touchdowns a game speaks to volumes in terms of what that defense has been able to do over the season. Let's get back into it and follow up in terms of this game coming up. Get back to the business at hand. Enough celebration. You have Alabama A&M Bulldogs, and what sticks out to me is the last time you went up to Huntsville, you had to come from behind. There's some things that you were doing in that matchup. But with that being said, Alabama A&M has a pretty solid defense too. What are some things that you look to get done against the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M this weekend?
Yeah, well, it starts off, and this is every week. This isn't specific to Alabama A&M. For us, and I just talked about it on the defensive side, but for us, it starts with up front. We have to be able to establish the run. The last 2 games, we run the ball extremely well. 250 yards against Texas Southern, 180 yards on 20-something carries last week against Prairie View A&M. And so when we can run the ball effectively, every back average over 6 yards a carry, it really, really opens our offense up. We've shown, across this, throughout this season and throughout really our tenure here, that we can throw the football. We can throw it probably as well as anybody in our conference. And so we can run the ball as well as throw it effectively. It really, really makes it difficult to stop what we're doing. And so it all starts with up front, how we handle their movement. They're a team that likes to move around a bunch up front. They'll stem, they'll line up in a 3-down look and then shift to a 4-down, line up in 4-down, shift to 3-down. They try to do a lot to force you to communicate. So for us, it's going to be imperative, being on the road, that we communicate well, that we identify their fronts, know who we're comboing to. And then at running back, we got to be patient and take what they give us. The one thing we got to prevent, the last 2 years we played them, we put the ball on the ground. We've had quarterback, running back fumbles both years we played them. One for picks, scoop and score in 21, and then one a turnover in the short field last season. So that's one thing we got to stay away from, protect the football, be able to run it, and then just be efficient, get first downs. From a defensive perspective, it's simple. Stop the run. Xavier Langford has been really, really effective running the football this year. And whenever you have a quarterback that can run, it creates an extra element for your defense to have to be mindful of. So definitely got to understand what they're doing. They run a lot of different formations, a lot of looks. They're very, very multiple in how they try to attack you. And so, both sides have their hands full with being forced to communicate, forced to play fundamentally sound, and do the things it takes to win. And so it's a great challenge for us. It really is. Been on the road again. My last true road game this year, and we've shown that we can win on the road. But, we definitely, especially now that we've locked up the division, got to make sure, again, that we don't go in there, full of ourselves, taking this team for granted, that we go in with the same fire and venom that we've shown, this season when we knew that we were playing for something.
Oh, yeah, snakes are dangerous when they're doing fire and venom.
But that does make me ask a question. I'm gonna ask a question as a nervous fan. Situationally, does the philosophy change? Do I get to see more second and third teamers this upcoming week, or it is the game is what it is? So what's the philosophy there?
Oh no, the philosophy is to win. We're going to Huntsville to win the game, and we're going to play it to win. And there's still, like I said, all we've done is sold up the East. We're still playing for to host the SWAC championship game, and of course, obviously being a Jackson fan, how important that is to be able to host the championship game. I think it's a great benefit in the conference that the team with the best record gets to host, and so that's still out there on the table. You got 2 teams on the West, who have 1 loss. Now they're playing each other this weekend, so obviously that won't be the case after this week, but again, we got 2 conference games left. They have 1 loss. So you do the math, we don't take care of business. We may play in the game. We play in the game, but we may not host. So we have to go into this weekend with the mindset of we want to host. And that means taking care of business. If we win this weekend, I think mathematically we're guaranteed to host a SWAC championship game. And so, no, this isn't a game of, hey, let's play the starters for a little bit and let's get them out. Now, maybe next week, we're playing a non-conference game that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But in conference play, I don't ever think you can take the mindset of trying to be, cautious and pull starters. If there are guys that are injured or that are banged up, that's different. But no, if you got healthy guys, you play them as much as you can, and you do what you need to do to win the game because we got a streak going. We're playing good football, and I think you want to keep that momentum as much as you can.
Understood.
Great context there. With that, Coach Simmons, we're going to let you go, but before you do that, we allow you to have the last word. Anything that we didn't ask you that you want to get out to the masses, particularly your fans, family?
Well, obviously, just excited about where we are. Route the Nation has been, strong all season. The Marching 100 will be in attendance this weekend up in Huntsville. So I know that will entice our fans to make the trip up to Huntsville and, see our band go toe-to-toe with Alabama A&M's band. So it's just, I think that's one of the beauties of SWAC football, just the pageantry, the halftime shows, all those things. So, again, just a great brand of football that we're displaying. I think the conference is in great shape, a good footing, a lot of really good matchups this weekend. So, you guys do a great job of highlighting the SWAC and HBCU football. And I think the nation is starting to take notice of the brands that we put out there. You look at, Central and FAMU and now even Tennessee State, creeping in that FCS top 25. So the more that we can get that national recognition, I think it helps our respective institutions recruit better. It helps us with alumni giving, with exposure, and all those things. So, again, thank you guys for what you do. I really appreciate, all the coverage. I appreciate, just the love and the passion, and look forward to hopefully seeing you guys in Tallahassee. There's some pretty good steak restaurants in Tallahassee, Doc. So I'll be.
Coach Simmons, I've booked my stuff. If you continue to do your side of it, I'll honor my side, and I'll be coming in Wednesday. If we can square it around, we'll make it work. Because you're right. I got to get past this fact that a steak is old. We got to make sure we close this out. This has not been a good look. People start to ask questions. Dr. Cavil, what's your steak?
I can say you're not ducking it. I will say that you're not ducking it. Because they haven't had a chance to square up yet. So.
Hey, and thank God I'm not part of the
you better give my coach a steak.
Hey man,
bring it up this time.
Yeah, hey, well, I appreciate you guys, man. A lot of love, a lot of respect for what y'all do, man.
Much love, much respect. We appreciate what you bring to the conference, what you've done for the conference, what you will continue to do, more importantly, for not just FAMU and the alumni over there, but also, most importantly, those students and the coaches that you're around. We appreciate that. With that being said, we're going to take a last break, come back on the other side. We're going to get into it. And you heard it. The Marching 100 will be in Huntsville. On Thursday, we release our band rankings. It sounds like they want to get back in the business of being in the bands. They're going to get on the road. I like it. That's what we judge here. We'll let them do the HBCU champions. So we'll mix that into there too because they get graded on that side. We just talk about competition. Marching sport, y'all call it, not me. Just letting you know. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you, Coach Simmons. Great job.